What's goody? Hey man, so today we are back with another video for you, man, and the trade deadline has just continued to get crazier and crazier and crazier after everybody was talking all this trash about the trade deadline potentially being so boring. We sit here now, and this has been one of the more, I kind of want to say random trade deadlines. Like, I feel like ever since kind of almost the Jaren Jackson move, I feel like pretty much not every single move, but I feel like a lot of the moves that have happened since that one have been stuff that I just didn't see coming, have been stuff that has been random. There's been some good moves by teams, there's been some bad moves by teams, there's been some confusing moves by a couple of teams and everything like that. So last time we were talking about the trade deadline, we were talking about the James Harden trade, we were talking about the Jaden Ivey trade, we were talking about Mike Conley trade, the Minnesota freeing up space for Giannis. We were talking about all these things, Vucevic trade to Boston and all these things. Since then, we've had even bigger trades. The Dallas Mavericks traded 10-time NBA All-Star Anthony Davis alongside Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum to the Washington Wizards for Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 2 first and 3 second rounders. Wow. I don't really even know where to begin with this. I'm going to start with the Mavericks side. For the Mavericks, at least you got 2 first-round picks and 3 second-round picks. Because you only got 1 first-round pick for Luka Doncic. So you turn Luka Doncic into essentially Ryan Nembhard, I think, because was he on the Lakers? He might not even been on the Lakers, so I'm not even going to include him. You turn Luka Doncic into 20 games of Anthony Davis. Cooper Flag, congratulations from the NBA. And that wasn't even included in that trade. That was just because the NBA gifted y'all for trading Luka. So I'm not even including Cooper Flag. So y'all got 20 games of Anthony Davis, Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley, 3 firsts and 3 seconds for Luka Doncic. Are we being serious right now? You got a better haul for Anthony Davis in terms of picks than you did for Luka Doncic. For the Mavericks, man, just go ahead. This is just a rebuild. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Kyrie Irving. Obviously, they're building around Cooper Flag. We're going to see what happens, what they do in the draft. We're going to see what all these picks are that they're going to get in. I don't know what the details are about whose picks these are, what exact pick these are, what the protections are on the picks, if there are any protections on the picks or whatever. I don't know if it's a best of, a worst of, if it's a swap. I don't know. But, man, if I'm a Mavericks fan, I got to be looking at this from the standpoint of we had Luka Doncic, and now we're in a rebuild around Cooper Flag. We went from being in the finals with Luka Doncic to being in a rebuild surrounding Cooper Flag in 18 months, all because of one man who no longer has a job. Yeah, man, that's tough. I'm not going to lie. If I was a Dallas Mavericks fan, that one right there would be a little tough. And then we go on to the Washington Wizards, and this is one of those where I say this is confusing. Because I don't really kind of understand why the Wizards did this. I mean, I guess it's kind of a buy low because you didn't have to give up any real players. You gave up 2 firsts. We don't even know if those are going to be first. So don't get me wrong. They didn't give up a ton to get Anthony Davis by any means. I just don't know that I love it because the Trae Young thing, I don't really think that hindered too many of your guys' development. I think maybe you could argue it hindered like a Bub Carrington development or whatever, but I don't think they were really looking at Bub Carrington as a key piece anymore. But this, I feel like, could really kind of hinder the development of maybe like, to an extent, an Alex Sarr, to an extent, a Keyshawn George, and I feel you, Anthony Davis is injured all the time, so we don't even know if he's going to be on the court taking minutes away from these guys consistently. Maybe he'll just be somebody that'll be there to be able to help these guys progress, and maybe that's phenomenal. Maybe what I'm talking about, he does the exact opposite. Maybe he goes there and he's the perfect mentor, and he helps Alex Sarr get better at defense, and he helps Keyshawn George just get better at basketball in general, and not that's not meant as a shot. Keyshawn George is a good basketball player. I just meant he just helps these guys improve, he helps them develop, and that is something that I could 100% see happening. But at the same time, I could also see this being one of those things where it's like, damn, we see the potential of a Keyshawn George and an Alex Sarr, but we also understand that we just traded all this for Anthony Davis, and now we have to play Anthony Davis the 35, 40 minutes a game we're going to play him if he's healthy. And that's obviously going to take minutes away from to a lesser extent, Alex Sarr, because we know AD wants to play the 4, so he's going to be playing alongside Alex Sarr for the most part. But, I mean, the spacing there isn't phenomenal, so there are going to be minutes where they're going to have an AD running the 5, or they're going to have AD on the bench with Alex Sarr running the 5 and Keyshawn George at the 4. I don't really hate this move fit-wise. I just it confuses me a little bit. I feel like maybe it's a little early. I don't think it's as fluid or as smooth or going to be as smooth or as fluid for the franchise as it will be as the Trae Young move would be. I don't think it's ever as easy really to incorporate Anthony Davis as it is to incorporate like a guy like a Trae Young. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think, like I said, I don't think AD is a bad fit here. I think this is going to be a team that is going to be competent. A fully healthy Wizards team out east. Let's say with the Celtics coming back and the Pacers coming back. I would look at them above a Magic. I would look at them above a Hawks. I would look at them above a Heat. I would look at them above a Bulls. For now, I would. The Hornets right now are better than them, but we would have to see what would happen in the offseason. But they'd probably, you know what I'm saying? They'd be around there with the Hornets. I'd look at them above the Bucks. They'd be around there with like a Hornets, with like a 76ers, a Raptors. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like in that middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference, where I'd be like, yeah, this is probably going to be anywhere from like a 3 seed to a 6 seed. That's what I would say with the Wizards. So this is a solid team. Don't get me wrong. The 3 seed's a really high ceiling, especially with the healthy Cleveland. Now that they have James Harden and the Knicks, who knows what they do, and with the healthy Boston next year, 3 seed's a little high. I feel you with the Pistons, who know what they do. But seriously though, with Anthony Davis, with Trae Young, with the surrounding pieces like a Keyshawn George, or a Keish, I don't remember how to pronounce it. I'm just gonna say Keyshawn George. With the Keyshawn George, with an Alex Sarr, with an Anthony Davis, with a Trae Young, with all the other surrounding pieces that they have, when we go to a Bub Carrington or a Bilal Coulibaly, the point guard's name that I loved, Johnson. It's not like Ty Johnson. It's not like I'm forgetting his name, but the young light skinned point guard who they just picked this year, who I like. I think maybe it is Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson. I think he's very good at basketball. I think he's a hooper and everything like that. So I don't think it's a bad team by any means. I just think, I don't know. I feel like you're jumping the gun a little bit with your rebuild, because to me, I always look at things with this type of lens. The goal is to always win a championship or put yourself in a position to win a championship as soon as possible. I don't think the Wizards did that here. I think they put themselves in a position to where they're going to be a competent basketball team. And if you're a Wizards fan, maybe that's all you want right now. Maybe you aren't expecting for the championship era to be with Trae Young and be with Anthony Davis. Maybe you're saying those guys help your guys that you have now develop. And then by the time you're ready to move on from those guys, then you're at the time where you're like, all right, boom, now we make our move. We're one piece away from a superstar. Trading an Anthony Davis or trading Trae Young can help us get that piece that we have. And now we feel like we're real contenders out east. Maybe that's what the long-term goal here is, in which case I would like this move a lot more. But as of right now, I look at this and I just feel like it kind of sped your timeline up a little bit, because even if you're not going off the Anthony Davis timeline, you're probably at least partially going off the Trae Young timeline, unless he doesn't plan on re-signing, which I'm not sure how he feels about the re-signing thing with the Anthony Davis thing now being there. Maybe they're looking at them both being like, hey, you guys are just going to play out your contracts here. We don't expect you to play here after that. You can go do whatever you want after that. We just want you to play out your contracts and help us develop here. In which case, I don't hate it, because they didn't have to give up anything they love. They didn't have to give up anything important. They didn't have to give up super key pieces. And it's not like they were giving up their best picks or anything like that, at least to my knowledge so far. So I don't hate this for the Wizards, but it's not like one of those moves where I look at and I fell in love with it immediately either. Another move that was made yesterday, and this one I really, really hate this for one team and really, really love this for another one. The Philadelphia 76ers are trading Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder for a 2026 Rockets first-round pick and 3 second-round picks. So here's what I will say. The 76ers are receiving the following second-round picks from the Thunder. It's a 2027 most favorable between OKC, Houston, Indiana, and Miami, a 2028 Milwaukee second, and a 2028 second from OKC. The reason I said I jumped the gun by saying I hate this for Philly. I actually didn't see that Philly got a first-round pick here. So even though it's a 2026 Rockets pick and it's not going to be valuable, getting a first-round pick is getting a first-round pick. On top of getting 3 seconds, it's not too bad for Jared McCain. But I think that Jared McCain's a good basketball player. I think that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to regret letting Jared McCain go, especially let him go to a team that is as good at development as the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think Jared McCain could be a really, really good piece for that team. I would not be surprised at all if we see Jared McCain become a really, really important rotational piece on that team by as quickly as the end of this season. I love the added shooting. I just love Jared McCain on that team. The youth of Jared McCain on an already young team, he's going to fit in there well. I think he immediately comes in and is one of their best guards. I think he immediately comes in and is their second best shooter behind Isaiah Joe. That is a phenomenal move for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They were looking for depth. They were looking for moves around the edges. They were looking for more shooting, and they did that while still staying young. And with Jared McCain showing that, hey, we have all these picks, we're going to be willing to use them, even if it's just for a young guy who we don't even know exactly what he is yet. I love that absolutely 100,000% for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Atlanta Hawks acquired Jacques Landale from the Utah Jazz for cash considerations. It's a whole bunch of bull jive. Basically, the Cavaliers are able to save a whole bunch of money while they bring in their guys that they just traded for, like James Harden, Keon Ellis, and Dennis Schroeder. Cavs were able to save a bunch of money. It's a good thing for the Cavs. They also agreed to trade Lonzo Ball and 2 second-round picks to the Utah Jazz as like a salary dump type of thing, getting Utah to take on his salary. Utah's going to waive Lonzo Ball. We'll see what happens with Lonzo Ball in the future. We might have seen the last of Lonzo Ball in the NBA, unfortunately. But hopefully he goes to the Hornets or something. I keep seeing people say that, and I mean, hey, sign him to the end of the season. See what happens. The Los Angeles Clippers, Brooklyn Nets, and Toronto Raptors have agreed on a multi-team trade, sending Chris Paul to the Raptors and Ochai Agbaji and a 2032 Raptors second rounder in cash to the Nets. We obviously did not require Chris Paul to report. We're out of the luxury tax. That was the whole reason we did this. I'm talking about from this as a Toronto Raptors fan. We are now out of the luxury tax. That's the whole reason we did this. Brooklyn picks up some money to help them cover Ochai Agbaji's salary, and the Clippers cure a roster spot and save $7 million in taxes. This is all according to Shams. So, financial moves. Chris Paul, I hate this farewell tour for you, man, because you are one of the greatest point guards of all time. I think you are somebody where your career gets disrespected. So, I hate seeing this for Chris Paul, man. New York Knicks traded Gershon Yabusele to the Chicago Bulls for Dalen Terry. Don't care anything about this move. I don't even know why I bookmarked it. This one, though, man. Man, these next two that I have to talk about, let's talk about this one first, get it out of the way. Hornets traded Tyus Jones to the Magic for some money. The Magic were just getting off the Tyus Jones contract. He's not really playing for them, whatever. They're an expensive team for a team that's not very good, whatever. These next two moves that I have to talk about are something because, wow. The Golden State Warriors traded Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. Man, I didn't even see that they did another move after this, but we're going to talk about this one first. I absolutely hate this for the Warriors. Let me tell you why. It's not because of the Kristaps Porzingis. It's not because they're getting Kristaps Porzingis and because of blah, 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 blah. It's not just that. There's a lot of other things that go into the reason why I really, 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 really do not like this move for the Golden State Warriors. And the reason, again, isn't because of Kristaps Porzingis, but it's because you could have traded Lauri Markkanen and Brandon Podziemski for you could have traded Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski for Lauri Markkanen in the offseason or 2 off seasons ago. There were pieces on the table for you to get guys, for you to get good basketball players, for guys and all it would have costed you was Kuminga, maybe Buddy Hield, and maybe Brandon Podziemski. And y'all were like, nah, Pods is the next step. We're not giving Jonathan Kuminga up for anything less than 2 first-round picks or a really good player. We think these guys are too valuable for that. Y'all don't understand their value. And now you trade Buddy Hield and Jonathan Kuminga, 2 guys who rarely even played for you, 2 guys who I don't care too much about trading the Buddy Hield thing. We never expected Buddy Hield to go over there and be a staple piece. We knew he wasn't going to last more than a couple of years there. But Jonathan Kuminga is a guy you picked with the 7th overall pick. When this is a pick that could have helped you usher in going from a dynasty to the next era, and instead you ruined the young man's career up until this point. And I really, really hope he can refurbish that career because you've ruined it for him up until this point. You've made him valueless. You've ruined his confidence. You've hurt him mentally. In my opinion, I believe that everything they have done for Jonathan Kuminga in his career has been to a detriment of him. I hate the way that they treated Jonathan Kuminga throughout his career. So for y'all to say, for y'all to then double down on that by saying, we're not even going to trade him for a good package. We're going to trade him for a guy who's played, 3 to 6 games this year? And that's it? We're going to trade him away with Buddy Hield, and we're going to get a guy who, if he was healthy and if he was back in his prime in New York, or even with that 1 year with Boston, could help you, or even that when he was with Washington, could help you. But he hasn't played. So you're trading a guy that doesn't fit and doesn't play for a guy that fits but plays even less. I mean, look, if y'all can just magically find a way to get Kristaps Porzingis healthy, then this is a good move for y'all because at least y'all traded Jonathan Kuminga for something solid, something that'll fit your team, some size, something good. But if Kristaps Porzingis continues on what we've seen over the last 2 or 3 years where he's just never going to play, what was the point? What was the point of waiting for Jonathan Kuminga? Why didn't you just trade him a long time ago? Stupid. Something I didn't see that they did, but they just did, or that they did 10 hours ago. The Warriors traded center Trace Jackson-Davis to the Toronto Raptors for a 2026 second-round pick. Listen, we're the Raptors, man. We needed more size. We needed more size. It didn't cost too much to get him. He was a cheap center. He was a cheap backup center to get. We can't afford to pay a center too much money because we're paying Jakob Poeltl all this damn money, and he doesn't even play. We just needed another big man. We couldn't go into the playoffs with Colin Murray Boyles being our full-time center. That's no disrespect to Colin Murray Boyles, who's been very good as a rookie. It's just we needed some more size, so it's a whatever move. I like it. But this one, man. I was just giving the Chicago Bulls props for finally getting in on deals like the Dario Saric deal and just finally getting random picks, just kind of helping facilitate trades for other teams. And I have been seeing a lot of other people like KLT4Q and just a lot of other Bulls fans or people around the NBA space who have noticed that the Bulls have done nothing. And they've been one of the least active teams over the last couple of years at the trade deadline. So now to see them go out here and actually be doing something was such a good thing for them, was such a big deal for them. So for you to then go out here and you trade Coby White to the Charlotte Hornets for Mike Conley. Oh, no, I'm sorry. For Ousmane Dieng, who I don't even know how he's able to be in this trade because isn't he on the Thunder? Colin Sexton, and 3 second-round picks. Dog, you had Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, Nikola Vucevic, Coby White, DeMar DeRozan, and you didn't get a first-round pick for one of them? You didn't get a first-round pick for one of them. You sent Coby White out there to, I'm assuming, be a super six man for them, and you didn't get a first-round pick, and y'all don't have a player on the roster over 6'9". Y'all have 18 guards, no bigs, and you traded everything that was valuable to you over the last 5 years for 0 first-round picks combined. I mean, the only thing that's good about this is you're finally it seems like you're finally choosing the direction to blow it up. The problem is you're blowing it up and not getting anything good to help you with the rebuild. You're blowing it up and you're going to say, hey, Miles Buzelis, we're going to surround you with second-round picks. Good luck to you and Josh Giddey. Come on, bro. Come on. For the Charlotte Hornets, originally I was a little confused about this move because it was just like, are you going to bring him back to being on a bench role, and does he really care about that? But I'm forgetting, this is a guy that went to UNC. This is a guy that seems to have not much of an ego, at least for an NBA player. So I really do like this move for the Hornets. It didn't cost them anything to give up, and that's, I think, the biggest reason why I like it. But also just, I mean, they're going to try to make a play-in push. They have a big game tonight against the Rockets, but they're on a 7-game win streak. They're the hottest team in basketball right now. So for them to go ahead, they're trying to make a play-in push. They're trying to get past the Bulls. They're trying to get past these teams and get to the play-in and then eventually get to the playoffs. Coby White's a guy that could help you do that probably. Coby White's now don't get me wrong, this team ain't defending nothing, but they weren't defending nothing before. So the Coby White move doesn't really change that defensive identity one way or another because they didn't have one. Man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching as always. That Hornets video will come out, but I mean, given the way the trade deadline's going, we're probably going to get another video tonight. I was going to post this video last night, but I just didn't record it last night. And I also just I just didn't record it last night. I was busy. My fiance was at work till later last night. Not late, but like 9 p.m. last night. When she gets home, man, the baby was in bed. I was trying to go to bed for real. So my apologies, but y'all will probably get another video tonight, depending on how things go with the trade deadline, because I think the trade deadline is it like 6 p.m. or like 8 p.m. Like I don't think it's late. So y'all might get another video tonight if things happen. If things don't happen, then look for a Charlotte Hornets video soon. Look for a Super Bowl prediction video soon and everything like that, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching as always. I'm really loving the support, so just thank you truly from the bottom of my heart for everything. I love y'all, man. Y'all have been, even people that have been disagreeing with me, people that have been telling me I'm off, people that have been telling me that I'm wrong about whatever I'm saying in the video. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the comment. I appreciate the conversations, because I'm never going to be a guy that's going to shy away from the debate. I'm never going to be a guy that's going to shy away from arguing with you. Well, not really arguing with you, but just talking through. See, I want to see your point of view. There was a guy the other day talking to me about how he thought Keontae George was the guy that was going to be the best guy on that Jazz team, and how he thought in a couple years that team would be and I'm like, yeah, I think there'll be a competent team, but you know, there's debates. I want to talk to y'all about stuff. I don't want y'all to think I'm always right. I want y'all to disagree with me, so I love that about y'all, man. I really, really love the community that we're building here. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to keep trying to reach as many people as possible, man. But as always, man, I'm keeping God first, and I hope y'all are doing the same, man. Pray for me, and I'm praying for y'all, all right? Peace out.